A question that I get asked all the time is, how do you find a niche? Another question I get asked all the time is, how do you find a niche? So in this video, I've got 17 tips, tricks and ideas to help you find a niche, or indeed find a niche. So let's go. Hello, it's Alex here from WP Eagle. Hope you're all well. So, finding a niche, or finding a niche. I think I'll go with niche throughout this video. Now, before we go too much further, let me just be clear that finding a niche is not an exact science. There is no kind of technique or process that you can go through that's going to guarantee that you find a really good niche that's going to be profitable, really easy to get loads of traffic and, make you a millionaire. I'm afraid it's just not that simple. But there are quite a few things that you can do to improve your chances of finding something that's going to work really well for you. The ideas that I'm going to share with you in this video will work well if you're thinking of setting up an affiliate marketing website, but they'll also work well if you're thinking of setting up a content-based site that's just going to be monetized by ads and maybe not have much affiliate marketing on it. They'll still work well for those kind of sites too. So these first 5 tips that I'm going to share with you are to help you come up with an idea for your niche. So tip number 1 is to try and spot a niche opportunity from your own experiences. Now, let me give you an example of this. One of my successful websites, bestroofbox.com, which by the way, you can find out all about what I've been doing on that site, how much it earns and how much traffic it gets, all that kind of stuff, by checking out the playlist that's appeared in a card up there. You'll also find a link in the description. So yeah, that site's doing pretty well. It's earning around $1,000 a month. And I came up with the idea for that niche because I needed a roof box for my car. And I was doing some searches on Google, looking for some information around roof boxes and the make and model of my car, which is a Seat Ateca, which is a fairly new car, and there's not too much content out there on the internet about it. And well, that's what I discovered when I was searching on Google. There wasn't any content, there wasn't any guides or anything like that to help me find the right roof box for my car. So that obviously got me thinking, maybe there's an affiliate site in this. And yeah, after doing a little bit more research, and we're going to go into research in a little bit more detail in this video, so keep watching. Yeah, after doing a little bit more research, I discovered that, yeah, it was pretty underserved and the products are pretty high value, and yeah, basically it ticked a lot of boxes. And yeah, so we're going to be going into those boxes in this video. But that's how I came up with the idea. I was literally looking for a particular product for my own needs and just noticed that there wasn't anyone serving content up for my searches around that product. That's tip number 1. Keep your eyes open when you're looking for products or services, or just generally doing research on Google and you can't find what you're looking for, or the content that you do find isn't very good. That could be an opportunity for a new niche website. Tip number 2 is to draw on your own interests and experiences. So, for example, I know someone who creates websites around their favorite TV shows, and this is kind of win-win because they love writing about their TV shows. They know exactly what people who are into this particular show are looking for on Google, so they're able to come up with loads of ideas for content. And yeah, the main thing is they enjoy it and they want to make content. And this is a particularly important point if you're going to be writing your own content. If you're outsourcing it, maybe it's not quite so important. But if you're going to be writing your own content, if it's something that you're into, if it's something that you enjoy and something that you like, you're going to be inspired and motivated to create content for the site. If it's something a bit dull that you're not particularly interested in, it's going to be a bit of a chore. So that's my second tip to help you come up with an idea for a niche, and that is to draw on your own interests and hobbies. Tip number 3 is to go and check the Wikipedia hobbies page, and you'll find a link to that page in the description. It's a really long page. It's full of all of the different types of hobbies that people are into, and I'm sure you're going to find some actually on there that you've never even heard of. And if you spot a few that spark your interest, make a note of them, and when we get onto the research section a little bit later in this video, you can use those techniques to find out whether it's going to be a viable niche or not. So that's tip number 3 to help you come up with ideas. Go and check out the hobbies page on Wikipedia. Tip number 4 is particularly for people that are interested in setting up an Amazon affiliate website. I would suggest that you go and check out the Amazon commission rates in the country that you're going to be promoting. So it's amazon.com. Go and check out the amazon.com commission rates. And this will kind of guide you into the kind of areas that you're going to want to have a niche in, because some of the commission rates are very, very low. So you're going to want to go for something that's probably at least 4%, if not more. And yeah, you should be able to find one of these pages for each of the different Amazon regions. Just do a Google for, Amazon commission rates US or Amazon commission rates UK, and you should be able to find the information that you need. So yeah, tip number 4 is to check the Amazon commission rates, look at the categories, and that should give you an idea for some niches where the commission rate is, pretty decent. Tip number 5 builds on tip number 4, because once you've narrowed down which Amazon categories you want to go for because they have a reasonable commission rate, you're going to want to kind of niche it down and deep dive within those particular categories to find something that's a little bit more specific. So go over to Amazon and bring up all the categories and yeah, just deep dive. I've said deep dive a lot, haven't I? But that's basically what you want to do. You want to click down and just see if there's anything that sparks your interest and something that maybe people are going to be looking for information on. Products that people are going to need some help with their choice. So for example, that's where Best Roof Box does really well, because it can be a little bit complicated to choose the right roof box for your car. So yeah, that's where an affiliate site can do really well, where you've got products that people need a little bit of help in order to make their purchase. So yeah, number 5 is to deep dive within the Amazon categories and make some notes on some of the product areas that are interesting to you. So there are my 5 tips for coming up with some ideas for a niche. Of course, you can use all of those with just general brainstorming, just kind of sitting in a room and just pondering things and just seeing what could come into your mind, looking around your room, maybe going for a walk, just looking for inspiration in terms of what might people be searching for on Google that I can help them. The next 8 tips that I've got are basically just tips to help you choose the right niche and also eliminate the wrong niches. But before we go much further, I've got a little spreadsheet that I use to help me choose my niches. So there it is. You're looking at it right now. It's pretty simple. I do add more to it and develop it as I kind of think of more things. And I'm happy to share it with you guys. You'll find a link to it in the description. It's a Google document, so just click on the link and it should load up. And then what you want to do is make a copy of it into your Google Docs so that you can edit it. Obviously, I can't let everyone edit that template, otherwise it might become a bit of a mess. So basically all you need to do is populate the sheet with all the information, and I'm going to show you how you can find some of the information that it requires a little bit later on in this video. But yeah, once you've populated it, the cells will turn different colors. They'll either be red, yellow, or green. It's, the classic traffic light color scheme. And if a niche is mainly green, then it's probably going to be a good niche. It really is as simple as that. But of course, it's not scientific or anything like that. It's just kind of to help you brain dump all of the stuff that you're thinking about and kind of visually look at what you're dealing with. So yeah, you'll find the link to that in the description. So here are my 8 tips to help you choose the right niche once you've kind of brainstormed a load of ideas. These tips will help you select the right ones and narrow down your choice. My first tip is to avoid the YMYL niches. YMYL stands for your money or your life. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but basically any niche that's to do with health or wealth. So examples of this could be anything to do with fitness, anything to do with diets, anything to do with finance. They're all going to be really difficult niches to kind of make an impact in. The reason they're difficult is because Google recently did an update. It was called the Medic Update. In fact, it wasn't that recent. It was quite a while ago now. But basically, what Google is looking for sites within that niche is looking for, experts. It's looking for big authority sites. It's looking for doctors that are writing about health. It's looking for, chartered accountants or, professional financial advisors that are talking about money. It's not looking for some guy in their bedroom that's got a few bits of health advice. That's not what Google's looking for. So, it's up to you. You could go for those niches, but it's going to be a challenge. So personally, my advice would be avoid the YMYL niches. My second tip is to avoid niches where the products are very low value. Now, you've just had a look at the Amazon commission rates probably after those previous tips, and you'll see that, they're not that great. They're not that great. So In order to maximize your earnings, you're going to want to choose some products that are of a reasonable value. And when I say reasonable, I'm generally talking about products that are over $100. So that book review site that you're thinking of, that might not be the one, because books are fairly low value, so therefore you're not going to earn much commission. Now, of course, if you're running a site where you're going to monetize with advertising, you might be thinking, well, that's not such a big issue. You know, it doesn't really matter about the value of the products. Well, yeah, it kind of does, because if you're talking about higher value products, that will generally mean that the advertising rates, the CPMs and RPMs and all those metrics and values, they're going to be higher. Basically, you're going to earn more from your ads if you're talking about higher value stuff. So yeah, tip number 2 is to check the value of the products within a niche and go for a niche that has higher value products. Tip number 3 is to be aware of seasonality. Now, seasonality is not necessarily a bad thing. You just need to be aware of it because it's going to affect how much traffic you get to your site. It's going to also affect how much money you make. So for example, my website, bestroofbox.com, is pretty seasonal. It does really well in the summer and not so well in the kind of autumn, you know what I mean by autumn, fall to my American friends. Yeah, it doesn't do so well in the autumn or in the winter months, which is fine because it does really well in the summer. So yeah, just be aware that your income may fluctuate if you go for a seasonal niche. You can, of course, check seasonality with a tool like Google Trends, link in the description. Just type in your main keyword and it will give you an idea of the search volumes over time. Tip number 4 is to consider how broad or how niche you actually want to go within your niche. So, for example, my website, bestroofbox.com, is pretty niche. You know, I can only really talk about roof boxes for cars, which is fine because there's loads of roof boxes and loads of different cars, and I'm happy with that. But if you're thinking of scaling up to be, you know, a really big authority site with thousands of pages of content, then you're probably going to want to go for something a little bit broader. So, for example, I maybe should have gone for car accessories or something like that. It would have obviously enabled me to write a lot more content about, you know, lots of different things. Deciding whether to go really broad or really niche is a personal decision. It really depends on how big you want to go with your site, how much content you want to add. I've had some good success with the really specific type sites because I find that you can become, you know, a real authority within a really specific area. So yeah, just decide whether you want to go broad or whether you want to go specific. And that's also going to have an effect on the domain name that you're going to want to register. Obviously, my domain name, bestroofbox.com, is pretty restrictive. I can't really talk about much apart from roof boxes. If I'd have gone for something, you know, like car accessories or even like a brandable kind of domain name like, you know, caradvisor.com, that's probably already registered, but you get the idea. Just think about whether you want to go broad or whether you want to go specific. Tip number 5 is to look for other merchants or retailers within a particular niche idea and see what kind of affiliate programs they're offering. You don't want to always just be tied to Amazon, and it's always good to explore other opportunities. To find out if a company has an affiliate program, generally all you need to do is scroll down to the footer of their website and there should be a link there to their affiliate page. The other way to find merchants is to join an affiliate network like Commission Junction or Affiliate Window. And once you sign up to those guys, you get access to a whole host of merchants. And you can check, you know, commission rates and conversion rates and all that good stuff. So, you know, Amazon is a good thing to promote because it converts really well. And, you know, a lot of people have an Amazon account. So, you know, they're happy to order from Amazon. But it's always good to keep in mind other merchants and other retailers and, you know, just keep your options open because some of these other guys may pay a much higher commission rate than Amazon. Tip number 7 is also around commissions, and that is to look and see if there's any products or services that you can promote within the niche that have a recurring commission. So they're a subscription type of product. A lot of these products do pay out regular commissions. They'll pay you a commission on every single renewal. So yeah, I mean, that's living the dream, isn't it? You know, you sell something once via your affiliate link and you get paid many times. So promoting recurring products can be really profitable. And if you do find a niche that has a lot of recurring products, then it's probably, you know, definitely worth considering. My final tip when it comes to narrowing down that list that you brainstormed earlier of niches is to just have a think about whether you like the niche. If you don't like it, it's going to be quite hard to work on it. Even if you are outsourcing the content, if it's just something that's not interesting to you, that doesn't fire you up, that doesn't press your buttons, doesn't wet your whistle, what strange metaphors I'm thinking of there. Basically, if you don't like it, it's probably not going to work for you. So try and pick something that at least you're kind of a little bit interested in. You'll find the whole thing a lot easier. So there are my 8 tips to help you narrow down that list of ideas that you've got for your niches. The final 4 tips that I've got for you are around topic research or content research or keyword research, because by doing this, you can see if there's any opportunities within that niche, whether it's really competitive, how much content there is, whether there's any gaps that you can fill. So this part is really important. First thing you're going to do is head over to Google. I'm not going to recommend any keyword tools or anything like that, because all you really need is Google, and start typing in your seed keywords. So that's kind of the main keyword around your niche, and other related things to do with the niche. You'll find that Google starts to offer some suggestions, and you can build up this list of suggestions by using what's called the alphabet method. So typing in a keyword and then just going through the letters of the alphabet after that keyword, and that will force Google to throw up loads of suggestions. You're then going to want to pull up the search results page around those suggestions and just kind of scan through the page. Have a look at what the content's like that's being served up by Google. Does it match the term exactly? Or is it, kind of related but doesn't really answer the query? What are the sites like that are coming up? Are they big, established new sites, or are they kind of little sites, little niche sites that, maybe don't have particularly good content? You can put all your findings in that spreadsheet that I mentioned earlier, but basically what you're trying to do here is look for opportunities. Look for search terms that don't have much content that matches them particularly well. Look for search terms where the content isn't very good. And by doing that, you'll be able to see opportunities, you'll be able to see areas where you can move in and, fill those content gaps or deliver better content than that's already being served up. Tip number 2 is to use Google Trends. I've already mentioned Google Trends earlier, but yeah, that's another great way to find out whether a niche is viable. So enter some of your keywords, probably some of the main seed type keywords, the 2 or 3 word keywords, and just see, are they going up? Are they going down? You can also check the seasonality that we've already spoken about. But yeah, if it's in decline, then yeah, maybe not a good one to go for. If it's on the up, then probably is a good one to go for. So tip number 2 is to check Google Trends. Tip number 3 is a way of building up more ideas and checking out the opportunities. And that is to use the people also ask section within Google. So that's the bit that, suggests other questions. And basically, if you click on those questions, Google will suggest more questions. Run them through Google, have a look at the competition, make a note of them because you'll be able to use them as ideas for your content. And yeah, just do that around all the niche ideas that you've got and see what kind of things are coming up, and consider whether you'll be able to write content around them, consider the competition, consider how interesting it is to you, and all the things that I've already spoke about. And by doing that, you should be able to build up a nice long list of content ideas. And that in turn will kind of help you narrow down which niche you want to go for. My final tip is to look for questions on other websites. So for example, on Amazon, take a look at some of the products that are related to your niche and scroll down towards the bottom of the product page and there's the question section. Have a look at those questions, maybe type them into Google and see what's coming up. Again, it could be some great ideas there for content and also a way of assessing the competition and the viability of a particular niche. Now, there's not only Amazon where you can find questions, there's also question and answer sites like Yahoo Answers and Quora. You could maybe delve into some of the forums like Reddit. On all those places, you'll find people asking questions and you can decide whether they are well served with content on Google, and you can decide whether it's something that you think you'll be able to write about, or indeed you'll be able to brief writers to write about. So yeah, that's my final tip. Look for questions on other sites like Amazon, Quora, Yahoo Answers, and all those sites I've just mentioned. Whew. well, that brings the end of this video. There was quite a lot there. Well, it felt like quite a lot as I'm recording it. I hope you found it useful. I hope that's given you some ideas and some techniques that you can use to come up with a list of ideas for your next niche, for your website, whatever that may be. If I missed anything, maybe there's some other technique or tip that you use when you're trying to find a niche, do leave it in the comments. I do read all the comments that I get, and I'll try to reply to as many as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, if indeed you liked it, why not click the like button below? That really does help me out. And to make sure that you don't miss any future videos, make sure that you're subscribed. You can do so by clicking on the subscribe button. Also down there, and click the bell and you should be notified when I upload new videos. But that's all from me. Good luck in your search for a niche. I hope you find something that serves you well. Until next time, bye for now.